My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. Welcome one and all for this series of talks on path of self-enquiry or Vichara Marg based on the teachings of Vedanta. This will be a series of question answers which very many people have been asking, and the teachings will be based on, the answers will be based on teachings of Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and modern teachers like Sri Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, and Atmananda Krishna Menon. Let us understand what is this Veda, what is meaning of Vedanta. Vedanta, Veda means knowledge. Anta means end of knowledge. Is it possible to have end of knowledge? So that's where this is a beautiful story in Upanishad. A young boy called Shvetaketu returns from Gurukula after many years of study. After 16 years of study of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge included study of Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda, and many Puranas. Then these subjects which are required for making a living, like astrology, astronomy, okay, or Dhanurvidya. These many subjects he learned. That means in modern day language, he had graduated from a best Gurukula in the world that time. In Gurukula, there are two types of subjects are taught. One is called Paravidya and other is called Aparavidya. Aparavidya means lower level of lower type of knowledge. Paravidya means higher type of knowledge. There are two types of knowledge which is taught. Aparavidya included the knowledge which is required for survival, making a living. How do I earn my money? How do I earn my livelihood? Can I practice medicine? Or should I become a soldier? These are the subject matter of Aparavidya. In modern day language, if I have to say, it's like engineering, medicine, or commerce. These are the subjects relevant to that time, that particular days. What is required from make you living? And Paravidya is the subject matter which is required for knowing the life itself. What is my life all about? Who am I? How am I related to the world? How I am related to the source of creation? This what I call as existential questions. So these were addressed in the Paravidya. So this Shvetaketu, young boy who has just graduated, he comes to the father and bows down to the father and says, "Father, I have studied every subject." He is very proud that he has completed study of all the subjects. The father sees the pride in the face of his son, and the father understands that the education is not complete for his son, because there's a saying in earlier days, Vidya dadati vinayam. The knowledge makes you humble, whereas his son who is standing in front of him, Shvetaketu, is proud. The wisdom is somewhere missing. This his father is able to recognize. Vidya dadati vinayam. One who has knowledge. Vidya means knowledge of two kinds, Paravidya and Aparavidya. Somebody who is able to make a living by practicing medicine or science or whatever commerce or whatever subject is called aparavidya. And paravidya is knowledge of the self. Who am I? How am I related to the source of creation? How I am related to the world? This is called aparavidya. So a person who has a vidya, real knowledge, becomes humble. He becomes simple. His son Shvetaketu has not become simple. He sees the pride. Okay. So somewhere wisdom is missing. Then Shvetaketu's father asks him, "Oh, my son," tells him, "Oh, my son, I'm very happy that you have completed the intense education of Gurukula. Did you learn a subject knowing which you know everything?" Shvetaketu was baffled by this. What kind of subject is this? Knowing which you know everything. He says to father, "I didn't learn that subject. I don't know that subject." He doesn't stop there. Even my guru doesn't know. He gives excuse also. My guru also doesn't know. Okay. "Oh father, tell me, what is that subject, knowing which you know everything?" Okay. Now here everything includes totality of creation. Right? So in today's words, if I have to say, if I know physics, I know about physics. If I know chemistry, I know about chemistry. If I know biology, I know about biology. But the living beings. If I know physics, I know about laws of nature. If I know chemistry, I know the chemical reaction. But is there one subject knowing which I know everything? Is it possible? And if you know about everything, there's nothing left for you to know. Right? If you know about everything, what is there left for you to know? Nothing is left for you. That means that is the end of knowledge. Knowing which everything is known, that is the end of knowledge. His father smiles and says, "Yes, there is a subject by knowing which you know everything. And that's the end of knowledge. End of knowledge called Veda Anta. Veda means knowledge. Anta means end. End of knowledge is possible. There's nothing more left to know." So that is called Vedanta. So what is that? In one simple word, the father teaches him. Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, Tattvamasi Shvetaketo. Thou art that. You are that Shvetaketo. You are that. Tattvam Asi. So this is the essential teaching of all Vedas. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, all of them, the summary of that teaching is Tattvamasi, you are that. If you understand you are that, if you realize you are that, then that is the end of knowledge. Then nothing more is left to know. This nothing more to know, left to know is called Veda Anta. Veda means knowledge. Anta means end of knowledge. So Vedanta has also another meaning. The end portion of Vedas, the last section, last chapter of Vedas is called Upanishad. Okay. Last chapter of any book gives you summary of the teachings of the whole book. So if you consider Vedas as books, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, each Veda has last chapters. That's called Upanishad. Last chapter typically gives the summary of entire teaching of the book, any subject. For example, 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita gives the complete summary of full Bhagavad Gita. So Upanishads give the end summary of Rigveda, last chapter. Summary of Yajurveda is given in the Upanishads, like that. Now, what is the summary of each of these Upanishads? which means summary of entire Veda is given in one line. It's called Tat-Tvamasi. That means, you understand, the Vedas are huge. Lot of knowledge is there in Vedas. Not everybody can understand the entire teaching of Vedas. It's quite lot. It takes lifetimes to learn. So then there is a summarization in terms of chapters. It's called Upanishads. Even the Upanishads are many. 108 Upanishads or more than that are there. What is the summary of Upanishad? Is Tattvamasi, essential message. So this essential message, if you understand, you have understood everything there to understand. That's the end of knowledge. Nothing more, no more to know. That is called Vedanta. This series of talks called Path of Self-Enquiry, we go through a series of question and answers asked by many people, asked by many students, and try to get answers based on the Vedantic teaching or teachings of Sri Sage Ramana Maharshi or Atmananda Krishna Menon or Nisargadatta Maharaj. So this this is a series of talks. Every day we take up some question about Vedanta and try to answer. Okay. So how is it possible to have somebody? How is it possible to have the end of knowledge? We know today, if I know science, this is endless. Scientific discovery is endless. Chemistry, chemical discovery is endless. Discovery of physics is endless. Right? Is it possible to have end of knowledge? It is possible if you understand the essential nature of universe or essential nature of human being. If you know gold, then you know all ornaments made up of gold. Necklace, jewelry, ring. Okay. Everything made up of gold is known. Essence of all jewelry is gold. So the question Vedanta addresses is, what is the essence of the whole universe? The essence of universe is that which is consciousness. And you are that consciousness. If you realize this, you have understood all aspects of the universe. This is the meaning of Vedanta or end of knowledge. Vedanta has meaning, end of knowledge. Vedanta means end chapter of Veda. Vedanta also means Veda Antarartha, essential meaning of Vedas. These are three meanings. Okay. So let us start this series of question answers on Vedanta. In the coming days, we'll take up the question, deliberate on the question, contemplate on the question, and try to understand the teachings of Vedanta. So the first question is, what is the purpose of life? Is there a purpose in life? What is the purpose of life? All of us have lived life. We are seeing other people living life. We have seen, we have read, we have learned many subjects in life. But in the schooling system, we have gone through 18 years or 20 years of schooling, and we try to learn many subjects. They are required for making a living. For example, I studied engineering. 10 years of schooling education, 2 years of PUC, 4 years of engineering, and 2 years of masters. There's quite a lot of number of years of learning, where I learned how to make a living in the world, how to earn my money, how to make my living. But nobody taught me about life itself. How do I be peaceful in life? How can I be happy in life? Okay. What is life all about? These questions, nobody taught me. But I had these questions. Actually, many children have these questions. Many children are very curious. They ask these questions. And many children they ask wonderful questions about life. But as adults, we start forgetting about that and we start getting lost in life. Okay. What what exactly is the purpose of life? If you look at any of our life, all of us seem to have one basic motivation, purpose: to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy is the purpose of life. Nobody wants unhappiness. Nobody wants suffering. It's not just human beings, animals, all living beings have the same. No animal wants to suffer. Every animal wants to be happy. At least happiness means getting food, or not getting tied to a pole, or not getting tortured. This everybody, every living being in the universe seem to be seeking happiness. So the happiness seems to be a general direction of life. Seeking happiness and avoiding suffering. I don't think any of us have any doubt about that. Of course, we try to get happiness in various ways. I'll be happy by doing this, I'll be happy by doing this, or not doing this. So many ways we try to feel happy, but in general, moment to moment, day after day, we are seeking happiness. So happiness is the purpose of life, in general direction of life for every living being. Now, how do I get that happiness? First, let us understand what is the nature of happiness, what it means to be happy. Remember, recollect some event in your life when you are happy. Okay. What happens when you feel happy? Suddenly, all our limitations are forgotten. It's a state of expanded state of consciousness where there's no limitation. The limitation of time disappears. When I am happy, I don't know how the time has passed. The passage of time stops practically. When you're happy, you don't know how time has passed. The limitation of time is gone. In a sense of happiness, you feel boundless. Your physical limitation is gone. I'm not physically limited. Right? I'm totally in the present moment. Actually, no past will come, past memories will come. And that actually we call as happiness. A state of happiness is the limitation of time is gone. Time is forgotten. If you're happy, you don't know how much time has passed. Right? If you're unhappy, only you know how to count the time. For example, your friend has come. You feel so happy. Friend has stayed with you for 1 week. When the friend is ready to go, is on the verge of leaving, you say, 7 days passed. I didn't even notice the passage of time. So because you are happy, when you are happy, the time stops. There's no limitation of time. That's why we like happiness. And you feel, you forget everything. There's no limitation. There's no boundary. You feel boundaryless. On the other hand, imagine a situation where you're unhappy. You have a toothache right at 10 o'clock in the night. You are waiting for the morning to break up, okay, to go to the doctor. Every minute you are checking the clock, and every minute seems to be taking years together. The time goes slow. Time goes. You count. The time is. You feel pain of time, pressure of time. When you are unhappy, when you are in suffering, pain. Right. So happiness removes the concept of time. Happiness removes the concept of boundary. That's what we call as happiness. And all of us seek happiness because that seems to be very natural to us. That seems to be our nature to be happy, and our nature seems to be not our to be unhappy is not seems to be our nature. See, somebody comes to your house, okay, you'll ask him, you seem to be dull, you seem to be not happy. Any reason? But if somebody is happy, you will not ask the question, why you are happy? Somebody being happy seems to be natural to you, whereas somebody being not happy seems to be unnatural to you. The moment somebody is unhappy, everybody will come and ask, what happened to you? A sadness on the face of somebody, people will notice it. Yeah, is something wrong? Are you okay? Why? Sadness or unhappiness is not natural. Happiness is natural. Happiness is natural to us. Okay. Happiness means not feeling the boundaries, not feeling the pressure of time, being freed from time and space is happiness. So then that brings us the question, if happiness is the purpose of life, okay, how can I be happy all the time? Why am I unhappy? What is the cause of unhappiness? How can I be happy all the time? Is there a secret for happiness? Secret for blissful life? Yeah, let us look at the mechanism of getting happy. All of us know that if I get this, I'll be happy. If I get this, I'll be happy. If I achieve this, I'll be happy. So we know what conditions are required to get happiness. Right? There are conditions. If I get a good car, if I buy a good car, I'll be happy. If I marry a beautiful girl, I'll be happy. If I get a promotion, I'll be happy. So all of us know what conditions are required to be met for to be happy. This is called conditional happiness. Conditional happiness. In fact, if happiness is our nature, we don't like conditions. Conditional happiness we don't like. Our happiness should be unconditional. So these conditions make our life miserable. Happiness should be unconditional. That's my nature. But I have to meet certain conditions in life to be happy. That's not acceptable to me. Can I have unconditional happiness? So let's look at the situation. We say we become happy, we get happiness when these conditions are met. Okay, take one condition each. I am happy if I marry a beautiful girl. Tell me how many people who are married a beautiful girl are happy? Is happiness in the beautiful girl? Even after marrying the most beautiful girl on the earth, you can be miserable. I'm happy if I buy a car. Okay. Is happiness there in the car? A newer model of car comes next month. You are unhappy because you paid some money for a older model of car. or your neighbor brought a better car. Is happiness there in the car? Happiness is not there in any object at all. If happiness is there in any object, then the same object should give happiness to everybody. But we have seen in life that same object gives different types of result to different people. Eating sweet makes somebody happy. Seeing sweet makes somebody unhappy if he has diabetes. Eating sweet makes somebody fall ill, diseased. The happiness is not there, the sweet. Happiness is not there in any objects of the world. If I get a job, I'm happy. You got a job, you became happy. But the same job start giving you trouble. Your boss wants to come to office at 9 o'clock and work till 10 o'clock in the night, 7 days a week. The job which are making happy, you making you happy earlier, starts making you feel miserable. Okay, you got a job. You are unhappy because you didn't get a promotion. The job was making you happy, but the same job cost you unhappiness. Okay, you got a promotion, but you didn't get a good increment. You got only 5% increment. The inflation in the market is 8%. So you're unhappy. Okay, you got a good increment. You got 9% increment, but your friend got 12% increment. You're unhappy. So is happiness there in any of the objects? Is conditional happiness acceptable to us? So the conditions associated with happiness makes us miserable. We want unconditional happiness. How do I get unconditional happiness? Only by understanding the nature of happiness. We use the word happiness for many situations in life. If I drink a cup of coffee, I'm feeling happy early in the morning. A nice coffee, a fragrant coffee, aromatic coffee. If I drink, I feel happy. So this is associated with sense organs, the smell, the touch, the taste. The happiness associated with the sense organs, we call it as pleasure. Is there happiness in having a cup of coffee? It is pleasant to the tongue. It is a pleasant smell to the nose. Our 5 sense organs are getting satisfied through objects. This is called happiness. I see a beautiful picture. I see a beautiful object. I feel happy. Okay. I hear wonderful music. Feel happy. Nice music, melodious music, happy. I touch a nice Kashmiri carpet, feel sensation. So the sense organs of the body give happiness when they make contact with the objects of sense organs. This we call it as happiness, and in other words, it's called pleasure. Pleasure is born out of sense organs. Is it conditional or unconditional? It is conditional, because as long as that contact is there, you feel happy. The moment contact is gone, the happiness is gone. It is conditional. It is time bound. Right? I don't want conditional happiness. I want unconditional happiness. This conditional happiness gives also problem, because the moment I drink a cup of coffee, I feel happy. After some time, I again want a cup of coffee to feel happy. So there's a addiction, right? How can I have happiness which is unconditional? So there's one kind of happiness which is born out of sense organs, contact of sense organs with objects. Sex is also like that. Physical contact, physical touch. Okay. So as long as the contact is there, there is happiness, and this is called pleasure. The pleasure is contact of sense organs with the sense objects, momentary. And after that, there's a pain. I don't have that contact. The pleasure and pain are pairs. They come together. But I want only happiness because my nature is happiness. I want unconditional happiness, pleasure. Is it possible? If you want to go unconditional pleasure, you'll get disease. You're happy with drinking a cup of coffee. If you keep on drinking a cup of coffee, you'll get into trouble. Nothing with sense objects we can do we can have permanently. Everything is momentary, and pain follows. The pleasure and pain are related to sense organs. Then look at the mind. The physical contact is called pleasure and pain. At the mental level, the contact is there. You remember something? Oh, some pleasant event. Such a nice picnic I had in my school. My friends, you remember. Then you feel happy. It's called mental contact. The physical contact is pleasure. The mental contact is called happiness. The mental contact, which is easier, physical contact or mental contact? Mental contact you don't have to pay. Physical contact you have to pay money. You have to pay something. Mental contact you can do anytime you can go. Oh, remember some event. But the mental contact also is painful. Happiness and unhappiness are there. Yeah. See, I was so happy in my school days. That's what you're saying. I'm not happy now. As much happy I was there earlier. The happiness and unhappiness are coming together in the mental contact. Pain and pleasure are coming to the physical contact. But I want unconditional happiness. How is it possible? We are craving for unconditional happiness. And either pleasure or physical contact or mental contact gives you only temporary happiness. And happiness is not there in the objects. So how can I find happiness? The happiness is in my own nature. Okay? Happiness is my own nature. If I am able to tap that happiness of my nature, I feel I can be happy all the time. I don't have to be addicted or dependent on the pleasure or happiness, physical contact or mental contact. Can I be happy? Are you not happy in nature when you're all alone by yourself? Are you not happy sitting by a riverside? Are you not happy looking at the moon? Just being by myself, I can be happy. Then it's unconditional happiness. I don't need any conditions for being happy. And in deep sleep, I don't have any physical contact, no physical objects. I don't have mental contacts, no mental objects. But still, I have a blissful sleep. So, I can be happy and blissful without any physical or mental objects. How to learn to be happy without depending on anything is the teaching of Vedanta. You can be happy by yourself. You don't need anything to be happy. And dependence on any object is not required to be happy. How do I achieve that? So you have to understand, when you make a physical contact with the object or mental contact with the object, happiness is So physical contact or okay, then what happens to you? The mind becomes silent. The moment mind becomes silent, the bliss of your own nature and mind becomes active again and recollects that bliss as happiness. So, in other words, the happiness didn't come from a cup of coffee. Happiness, your happiness is the silence of the mind when you drink a cup of coffee. The mind becomes silent for momentarily. And when the mind becomes silent, the happiness is because the happiness is your own nature, the nature of the self that appeared because mind was silent. And when the mind became active, again happiness disappeared. But mind can't understand, mind doesn't recognize this. Mind recognizes happiness is because of cup of coffee. Happiness was never because of a cup of coffee. Happiness was because the mind became silent. So the key to happiness is making the mind silent. And the mind is silent, your nature of yourself manifests as happiness, appears as happiness, which is the happiness came from the self, which is its own nature. Because when the happiness appeared, the mind was silent. When the mind comes up again, it recognizes the cup of coffee. So it wrongly associates happiness with a cup of coffee without understanding the real nature of happiness is the self. When the happiness of the self appeared, mind was silent. When the mind was active, happiness disappeared. Mind mistakes the happiness due to cup of coffee. The cup of coffee triggered silence of mind. Silence of mind resulted in happiness of the self. So happiness was never in a cup of coffee. Happiness is not there in any object of the world, be it money or power or job or anything in the world. Happiness is because of the silence of the mind. And when you depend your happiness on any object for the silence of the mind, it's quite expensive. You have to spend a lot of money and effort to get that, and even that doesn't give you full happiness. Let us take happiness because of a cup. Because I will be happy if I buy a BMW car. Okay, conditional happiness. So my salary is 1 lakh rupees per month. BMW car costs 70 to 80 lakhs. 70 to 80 lakhs of earning I have to spend to get a BMW car to get happiness. See how many years I have to work to become happy. And that happiness also doesn't last long because next year BMW will bring new model of car. So you're perpetually addicted. I'll be happy if I get a job. Your happiness after getting a job will not last for 6 months because the work pressure, the promotion, the job appraisals, everything will be bugging you. Any kind of happiness in the world, you have to pay you have to work hard and pay either in money or time. I'll be happy if I'm married. So entire life you have to commit for that happiness. I'll be happy if I have children. So 20 or 30 years of growing up the children, you have to take a commitment to be happy. All this without understanding that happiness is by nature. If happiness is my nature, whether I'll do this, all these things is a different matter. But for happiness, I don't have to do anything. Right? I'll be happy if I buy a big house. I buy a beautiful house. So I have to pay EMI for 30 years. 30 years of my work life I have to commit. So getting happiness from any object requires a lot of commitment, time, effort, and commitment. and you don't get a permanent happiness from that. Permanent happiness or eternal happiness can only provide from our own nature. If I become free from any conditions, can I have unconditional happiness? That unconditional happiness depends on the silence of the mind, peace of the mind. The Vedanta teaches us how to have a silent and peaceful mind. That is the teaching of Vedanta. Any conditions in life, how you can have a silent mind so that you are happy inside. Your happiness doesn't depend on conditions. And that is called bliss. Unconditional happiness is called bliss. Can I be unconditionally happy? That's called bliss. And this is the essential teaching of Vedanta. How to do that? What are the details of teaching? We'll find out in the next few questions. So the next question is, what is this called Vichara Marga or path of self-enquiry? So we have understood the happiness is not in the objects. Okay. So then happiness is not in the car, happiness is not in the job, happiness is not in the bungalow, happiness is not in the any objects. Happiness is not in any actions. Happiness is my nature. So that means I should not look at the object, but I should look at myself for happiness. Right? There's myself and an object. Once I understand that object doesn't give me happiness, the happiness must be in myself. Okay. How do I discover the happiness of myself? What is blocking the happiness of myself? We need to conduct inquiry into the nature of myself. Find out who am I really? What is my nature? There are three aspects of me. What I think I am, what society thinks I am, and what is my real nature. Three aspects. What I think I am, what a society thinks I am, and what really I am. There are three aspects. What I am really can only give me happiness. What society thinks of me can never make me happy. Can you ever satisfy the society? Is it possible to satisfy the society at any point of time? What society thinks of you, it's impossible to meet the targets of society. If you think you are handsome, there are a million people more handsome than you. If you think you are rich, there are millions and millions who are billionaires. If somebody thinks he's a billionaire, there are more billionaires than him. The society standard can never make you unhappy. It can only make you unhappy. What society thinks of you cannot make you happy. What you think of yourself? What you think of yourself is nothing but reflection of society. You think I am smart. Smart for whom? For the society. You think you're smart, but the society doesn't think you're smart. The society thinks there are 10 more people more smarter than you. Your thinking about yourself is also a society image. You understand? You think you are beautiful. There are Miss City, Miss District, Miss Town, Miss State, Miss Country, Miss Universe. And all those Miss Universe will be valid for only 1 year. Next time another Miss Universe will come. How will you keep happy, society happy? How will you keep yourself, your image matching into society all the time? Can you be your natural self, which makes you happy, which is happiness, rather than constantly trying to meet the conditions imposed by the society and self-imposed conditions? What you think of yourself and what society thinks of you. So we have to find out really who am I. That's why Sri Ramana Maharshi says, uh, inquire who are you? Who am I? Koham. Who am I? Ask that question. Find out who really you are. Who you are you really? Find out that. And that alone can give you happiness. What you think of yourself and what society thinks of you cannot give you happiness. And it makes you unhappy constantly. Who you are by nature, essentially, is a real happiness. Find out that who you are. Don't you think I don't know who am I? Who am I? All knowledge about myself is knowledge given to me by the society. Okay? When I am born as a child, I was blissful. All children are blissful. See the smile on the face of the child. See the beauty of the child. See the innocence of the child. The innocence is bliss. The peaceful mind is bliss. That was nature for all of us. The child. The child is divine. The divine child is my nature when I was born. But slowly, slowly, the society starts getting into me in the form of knowledge. I start learning how to live in the society. I learn about society. I learn about myself from the society. A boy child or girl child is innocent and blissful. Soon they start learning what a boy should do, what a girl should do, what boy should not do, what a girl should not do. What is success, what is failure, who I should be, what I should be like. Okay, this conditioning starts happening. Your unconditional happiness as a child disappear. The innocence gone. Okay, now you have a lot of knowledge, but not the knowledge which you acquired, the knowledge which was given to you by the society in various ways. Of course, you said, I learned something from society. I learned, I studied, but this all learning from the society. Your nature as a blissful child is forgotten. The bliss of the childhood is gone. The innocence is gone. The more you know, the more innocence is gone, the more the bliss disappears. The knowledge causes knowledge about the self or the society is a burden. We carry that burden. There's a beautiful story in Bible. God created Adam and Eve, the first man and woman. And God told both of them, they were in a beautiful place. It's called Eden, Garden of Eden. Very joyful place where there was no suffering at all. The God told them, okay, you can enjoy here in the Garden of Eden, but don't eat from the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge. Don't eat from the tree of knowledge. Don't eat any fruit from the tree of knowledge. And Adam and Eve go and pluck an apple from the tree of knowledge and eat. Immediately they fall from the heaven. So this is an allegorical way of telling. Okay, the knowledge, what we consider as sweet, tasty, becomes our burden. The innocence of the childhood, the Garden of Eden of the divine child is lost. Knowledge becomes our burden. All kind of knowledge. So this is what Shiva in Shiva Sutra says, Jnanam Bandha. Your knowledge becomes your bondage. The problem is I cannot reverse the knowledge. I've already learned. Can I be innocent with this knowledge? Can I have the blissful nature of my childhood? The blissful, my original nature of child? Can I regain that bliss with all the knowledge which I have? Can I unburden myself? I cannot remove the knowledge. Engineering knowledge, mathematics knowledge which I have learned, I can't remove it. But I can unburden myself from the self-knowledge. Whatever I know about myself is given to me by the society. It's the image of the society. Oh, I know I'm an engineer. That's with reference to society, job. I know I'm a father. It's a relationship, mother. So these are all the society conditioning. I can work on the society conditioning and uncover the conditioning of the society and discover my true blissful nature, which is my original nature, which I was born as a child, a divine blissful nature. I can have all the knowledge, but still I can be blissful when I discover my true self. So this is called self-enquiry. Self-enquiry is a way to help you discover yourself. So Vedanta provides a system of knowledge, system of questions for you to discover yourself, discover my own self, real self, blissful self, divine self. This is called self-enquiry. Vedantic teachings like Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, or teaching of Sri Ramana Maharshi, Atma Vichara, Atmananda Krishna Menon, Nisargadatta Maharaj, all are there pointing to you, to helping you to discover your own self nature, discover your own blissful nature. I can discover my blissful nature and become free from mess when I am alive. And this state is called freedom. Freedom from ignorance of the self, ignorance of my divine, blissful self. I have a divine child in me that I have forgotten. I have become totally conditioned by the society. Become free from societal conditioning in terms of my self nature and discover my true nature through the teaching of Vedanta. This is the essential meaning of Tattvamasi, that thou art. And a process of inquiry which will help you there. Process of thinking and contemplation will help you there. It's called Vichara Marg. So we'll get into that in the coming days.